Check these out. This is the new St. Croix Legend Tournament family from St. Croix rods. This particular family I'm going to start with is the spinning family. These feature a whole bunch of new technology and some cool tricks that I like a lot, starting with the foregrip. The boys at St. Croix have heard me talk about this for quite a while. I love the idea of a foregrip on a spinning rod. It helps me keep my hand up above the reel seat and lets me use my whole arm for leverage when fighting a fish or working a bait all day long, and allows me to run bigger spinning reels if I want to, which I prefer to do. But the cool thing is with the new locking nuts they're using that have traction on the way up or down, they're not abrasive at all. So if you do like to split your fingers on here, it's actually a really nice reel seat, very comfortable for any style of grip that you have if you're a spinning rod angler. They have technique-specific hook keeper locations, Fuji Alkanite guides, and my favorite thing is the new blank technology they're using. St. Croix manufactures these rods in Park Falls, Wisconsin, and they have their own exclusive carbon fiber blanks. And this blank here is now SC4 Plus. SC4 Plus means there's also SE6 carbon fiber wrapped into this blank. The SE4 was known for its durability, lightweight, sensitivity, all that stuff, but SE6 is a step above that as far as lighter weight and more extreme action to it. So the actions are exaggerated on these rods even more than they were in the previous models. So if you have an extra fast rod, it's really extra fast. And they're more sensitive. And they did that also by only single coating the blank here with a clear coat, and it's slow cured in Park Falls, so the rod blanks feel alive. They feel a lot more crisp than the previous generation Legend Tournament rods. These are super impressive in hand. They look really cool. I love that brushed aluminum look with that wild blue. Kind of gives you a little bit of a modest look plus a wild look with that blue. I'm a big fan of this series, and next we're going to take you through each of the models in this family and their actions for what they were designed to do specifically. First up, I'm going to point out the Pinpoint. The Pinpoint is a rod designed specifically for accurate casting. So if you're skipping docks, fishing around sparse cover, trying to make those targeted presentations, maybe a bedfish, something like that, the extra fast action on this rod will aid you in that. If you see here, I'm loading up the line ever so slightly and just the top section of the rod's bending. That's extra fast action. Not the top third, not halfway down the blank is it loading up, just the very tip of the rod starts to go. So that helps me make accurate little casts, and it also helps me get a little hook into a fish really fast. If I start loading up this rod, it grabs onto that fish right away. This action is ideal for exactly what this rod was designed for, pinpoint accurate casting. So if you're looking for a rod to make those precise casts on docks, bedfish, sparse vegetation, anything like that, this rod's the choice in a 6/8 medium extra fast Pinpoint. Back with another extra fast action rod here. This is the 710 medium light extra fast hair jig rod. So once again, just the very top section of this rod's gonna bend when you're making your casts. The rod will load up pretty well if you give it a lot of pressure, but that very tip is what's really soft and bent. This is actually an extremely extra fast action rod. It's designed perfectly to do a technique that was mastered up on the Great Lakes a long time ago, the hair jig. Launching out those little teeny fur balls, we call them, the hair jig in 3 seconds, really small, tiny jigs that you can throw super far with those marabou jigs with a long rod like this that has a really soft tip, really soft action like this. Go to a really thin braid and you can launch them with this rod. I'll bet you this particular model right here, the Legend Tournament hair jig, will be a favorite amongst tournament anglers all over the North Country that are chasing down weary smallmouths in the shallows with those little black hair jigs. Dropshot Finesse. This one here is a 610 medium light extra fast again. This one right here is perfect for all you forward-facing sonar anglers. The newest technique out there that a lot of people are starting to master now is video game fishing, staring at your graphs and fishing either straight up and down or out in front of the boat and trying to make precise presentations to fish they're actually looking at on your electronics. This rod right here would be absolutely perfect for that because it's short, make an accurate cast with that extra fast tip, and it's nice and soft, So if you're running line to weary fish that aren't easy to get to bite and you're running real light line, you can still land those fish, but it's got enough backbone that you can get a hook set in them if you're going to texapose a plastic on a drop shot. If you're going to Demiki rig fish and you're in deeper water, you can get a fast, quick hook set into them with some low stretch line like a braid to a fluorocarbon leader or a straight fluorocarbon. This rod's perfect for all those anglers looking to make finesse presentations with a little bit shorter rod closer to the boat. 7.3 medium heavy fast power versatile St. Croix Legend Tournament. This one, if you notice, after all those extra fast rods, the rod tip wants to load up way further back on the rod. It's a fast action, not super far back like a moderate action rod, but I would say that top whole third of the rod wants to bend. That's going to give you more power, more backbone when you set the hook on a fish. You're actually using a stiffer, harder part of the blank to drive that hook home. So this is perfect for exactly what it says, those power techniques. So if I want to do what we do up here in Minnesota a lot, that's called jig worming, exposed hook jig head in like a 4-inch worm. We fire it right into the grass. We actually physically pull the jig through the grass, and that hook actually grabbing the grass and breaking through causes some commotion. You set the hook and you get that fish in. But a lot of times those are bigger fish, and you need that power, that backbone to get those fish out, but you also need that power to get the jig head cleaned of that grass and vegetation. If you want to fish a big tube jig, if you want to do a lot of stuff that maybe an angler would normally do with a bait caster and you want to do it with a spinning rod, maybe for casting distance or accuracy on docks or things of that nature, you can try it with the St. Croix Power Versatile. This thing will do just about anything you need it to do for power fishing applications in a spinning rod. Back with another drop shot rod. This one's the Dropshot Finesse Extra Long, XL they call it. This one's 7'3", medium light, extra fast. So back again to those razor sharp tips that are super soft and just bend up in that top section of the rod. So I can make precise little pinpoint casts. Now with a long distance, I can reach out a long, long ways with this rod, make a long cast, and I can detect the slightest of bites and detect my bottom contact, anything like that. I can feel how my bait's acting down there with the rod with this level of sensitivity and this length and this light of tip. So I can run light line, not overpower the line I'm fishing, and I can run light wire hooks, not overpower those light wire hooks, and get bites from weary fish that I have to stay away from with the boat. If you're looking for a rod to reach out and touch them far away, this drop shot extra long will get the job done for you. Here's a super interesting one. This one they call swimming baits. So your little swimmers, paddle tail swimmers, dark sleepers, Asianese now, any sort of little soft-bodied swim bait that you want to swim through the water column. And this one features a pretty unique action. I actually owned this blank or a similar action rod in the Victory family, and I absolutely loved it for exactly what they're talking about. This one is a 7'10" medium moderate fast. So now my tip is moderately fast, which means it's loading up dang near halfway down the blank when I really load it up, but that top third of the blank is bending, so I can make a really long cast, which is very key when you're fishing soft body swim baits. I can make a super, super long cast, and I can hook that fish and keep them pinned when they're a long ways out there. My favorite thing about this one, that foregrip I always talk about, it's got an extra long handle on here. It allows me to use an oversized spinning reel. Well, for techniques like this, I like to run at least a 3,000 to not a 4,000 size reel and make a super, super long cast. They've knocked this one out of the park in my opinion. I think it's probably the best soft bodied swim bait rod I've seen on the market to date. Next one, Power Finesse. This one sounds like an oxymoron, but this thing's really cool. It's got a super light tip, back to that extra fast action again that these rods shine at, this family, but it also has a lot of backbone. If I load this thing up really hard, it's really locking up. It's got a lot of power up in the top section of the rod, right behind that extra fast soft tip. So now this rod will shine at power fishing techniques, but I can do that with lighter weight hooks, lighter weight line, and not worry about just rolling those hooks out or popping that line. I could also use a finesse application with a heavier hook or heavier line, and I'm not underpowering that line or that hook. This rod gives you a lot of versatility when you want to get weary fish to bite, whether they're far away from you or you want to fish around shallow cover. I can make accurate casts with that soft tip, but I can use that power to get those fish away from that cover. All right, if after you saw all those different rods, if you're not sure which one suits you best, go with this one. This is the Versatile. This is a 7-1 medium fast. Probably the most versatile power and action you can get in a spinning rod, and length, to be honest. This thing's not too long that you can't make accurate casts around cover, and it's not too short that you can't make long, big casts offshore. And it's got the power to suit just about any type of line size you want to run on spinning or any weight bait you want to throw on spinning tackle. And the action is very versatile in itself, being just a fast action. It's got a soft enough tip to make long casts, a soft enough tip to make semi-accurate casts, but it's also got lots of power. So you can do just about anything you want to do with this rod and get away with it. So if you want a rod to cover your bases for a lot of different applications, techniques, species, you name it, this is the one to go with, the 7-1 medium fast versatile rod. So that was the whole Legend Tournament spinning family. I can tell you I have a few favorites so far, and I haven't even got these ones on the water. I was lucky enough to fish with some of the victories for the launch, but I haven't personally got these out on the water yet. I can tell you in hand, I'm really impressed with the two long rods, the 710 medium light and the 710 medium moderate fast, the swimming bait rod and the hair jig rod. Everybody here's already wanting to get their hands on those ones. I'm really impressed with that versatile rod, the 7-1 medium fast, feels crisp and alive, and even a couple of the short rods. That Pinpoint might have my name on it. I'm really impressed so far with how these rods turned out. They're definitely listening to the consumer at St. Croix Rod, and it's cool to support an American-made manufacturer. Take care and go catch them.